Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications. And now, let's join ace broadcaster MAMODE AKUGHA as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, MAMODE AKUGHA.
Inside the Niger Delta.
On the 18th of March 2025, President Bola Tinubu, in a rather shocking move, declared a state of emergency in Rivers State over the prolonged political crisis in the oil-rich state. The governor, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, and members of the State House of Assembly were all suspended for 6 months, during which the state will be governed by an appointed administrator who is to ensure the maintenance of peace and security in the oil-rich state. However, this move has sparked outrage, with many people questioning the constitutionality of the move and the motive behind it. In this special report, our correspondent traced the beginning of the political crisis in the state that led to the current state of affairs.
Suspended Governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, in May 2022, with the full backing of then Governor Nyesom Wike, surmounted all obstacles to emerge as the gubernatorial flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the state for the March 2023 general election. The endorsement of Governor Wike will go on to underpin his outstanding victory against his rivals. However, not long into Governor Fubara's administration, which began on May 29, 2023, an unexpected rift emerged, setting the previously aligned parties on a collision course. More disturbing is the fact that to this day, the reason for this fallout is still in the realm of speculation. What started as political disaffection will defy all remedies to rock the political scene in the country for over a year and a half and counting. Ultimately, it culminated in the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State and the suspension of Governor Fubara on the 18th of March 2025 by President Bola Tinubu. At the early stages of this feud between Fubara and his benefactor, there were spillovers that involved the then local government chairman in the state, who threatened not to leave office after the expiration of their tenure. While the attempts of local council executives to defy the governor failed, the battle shifted grounds to the House of Assembly, leading to the emergence of two camps. 27 members led by Martins Amaiwule sided with Governor Wike and took on the inordinate task of frustrating the governor, even to the point of initiating an impeachment process against him, while Edison Ehie, who will later resign, led a group of 5 legislators who stood in solidarity with the governor. The two-faction House of Assembly soon became a subject of multiple litigations, especially when the Ehie-led legislators declared the seats of 27 pro-Wike lawmakers vacant after brazenly waving the APC flag and announcing their defection from the PDP. While all of this was going on, a section of the House of Assembly complex was blown up, signaling the escalation of the squabbles, leading to a fierce war of words between the two parties in the media and litigations that ended up at the Supreme Court, of which Wike and his team are now relishing in their victory. However, it is clear that all through this period, the governor leveraged the now defunct Ehie and later Oko Jumbo-led assembly to deliver what many described as unprecedented governance in the oil-rich state.
This is the first time that civil servants have been paid the 13 months. Civil servants have been paid all their salaries. For the first time, There are roads connecting the riverine communities. It has never happened.
We are enjoying his style of government. He is affecting lives. The downtrodden, the fisherman in the pond, the market woman in the market, the farmer in the bush. Everybody is feeling the pulse of the governor because of the style of his government.
At the height of the political crisis just before his suspension, the fruits of these commitments were on display as he went around the length and breadth of the state, inaugurating completed projects which were ready for use. He also demonstrated his commitment to implementing the Supreme Court's orders, starting with the dissolution of local council administrations following the court's declaration that their election was unconstitutional.
Although we disagree with the judgment, we are bound to obey the order made therein as a law-abiding government.
However, on the other hand, the House of Assembly members who were reinstated by the Supreme Court would not slow down in their quest, moving on to resume their impeachment process on the governor.
The clerk will publish in at least 3 national dailies the notice of allegations of gross misconduct brought pursuant to Section 188 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended 1999 in reference to acts of gross misconduct in the performance of the functions of the office of the governor by His Excellency Sasimla Yofubara, GSSRS, Governor of Rivers State.
Then finally, on the 18th of March 2025, President Tinubu curiously declared a state of emergency in Rivers State. This was a few days after he met and instructed leaders from the region who, amongst other issues, presented to him the Rivers political situation to go back and help the governor resolve the issues. The state of emergency in the state effectively suspended the governor, his deputy, and the embattled House of Assembly members for 6 months.
States are hereby suspended.
The president also appointed a retired naval officer as administrator in the state for the next 6 months with immediate effect. While this is not the first time a state of emergency has been declared since Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999, this one stands out due to its unique circumstances. The last state of emergency declared by former President Goodluck Jonathan in 2013 in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states was in response to the Boko Haram insurgency. However, during that period, neither the affected governors nor state legislators were removed from office. The argument at the time was that the president lacked the legal authority to suspend a democratically elected governor or dissolve the State House of Assembly. Both political observers and residents of the state expressed concerns about the implications of this move on governance and service delivery in the state.
At least as if they're supposed to call them together and call this one to order and call this one to order and settle this case. Which way did they go bring another governor? They go bring another person, come keep here. We will not get fight here. Nobody they fight anybody here. There is peace in the River State.
From the look at things, people are not killing themselves. People are not fighting here. If we should judge and talk about people where people are killing, we know the places. So even at that places, the election is not going on. How much less the River State? The River State is a peaceful place.
Undeterred by the outcries that followed, the National Assembly, after an initial delay, ratified the decision of the president confirming the state of emergency in the state. This also did not go down well with people who expected the legislative arm to oversight the president on the controversial move.
I cry and I wail for the National Assembly of Nigeria. I thought they are supposed to be the bastion of hope for democracy, but unfortunately we see a rape of democracy at the national level. Now, if you look at the voting, 2/3 majority is required. They are what should be there physically present to vote, cast their vote, not by voice vote. What we saw was a voice vote, and voice vote is not supposed to constitute the 2/3 majority to determine an issue of a state of emergency. That again is an affront to democracy.
No doubt this development bothers many Nigerians, but with the National Assembly ratifying the decision, it seems like a sealed deal, except for the litigations that are beginning to arise, like the one filed in the ECOWAS court by the leadership of the Ijaw Youth Council. The people's feelings about the political crisis is captured in this summary by former President Jonathan, who is obviously unhappy and disappointed at the glaring abuse of power by current political actors.
What is happening in Nigeria today regarding the situation in River State is like an Indian proverb that said that if somebody is sleeping, really sleeping, you can easily wake up that person. But if the person is pretending to sleep, you find it difficult to wake up that person. The key actors in Nigeria, from executive to the legislature and the judiciary, they know the correct thing to do. But they are refusing to do it. They are pretending to sleep. And waking such a person is extremely difficult because the person knows the right thing. A clear abuse of offices, clear abuse of power, clear abuse of privileges, cutting across from the three arms of government, from the executive to the parliament to the judiciary. And I always plead with our people that whatever we do affects everybody. For example, no businessman can bring his money to invest in a country where the judiciary is compromised, where a government functionary can dictate to judges what judgment they will give. No man brings his money to invest in that economy because we are taking a big risk. And if we must build a nation for our children and our grandchildren, no matter how painful it is, we must strive to do what is right.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) has urged beneficiaries of its recently concluded capacity building program on commercial scale rice production and processing to utilize the knowledge and skills they have acquired in boosting food sufficiency across the oil-rich region. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Intervention Agency, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, who was represented by the Commission's Director of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mrs. Winifred Madume, gave the charge last week at the closing ceremony of the second batch of the capacity building program for rice farmers in Umuahia, Abia State.
From the 25th of February to the 22nd day of March 2025, the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) hosted approximately 300 farmers in 2 separate batches from its 9 mandate states for an extensive training in the theoretical and practical aspect of rice production, entrepreneurship development, agribusiness and related courses. The program, which was organized in collaboration with the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike in Abia State, is part of the NDDC's broader initiative to enhance food security and empower rice farmers in the oil-rich Niger Delta region with modern techniques and business strategies that will make for economic growth and food sufficiency. Speaking at the closing ceremony of the training in Umuahia last week, the Managing Director and Chief Executive of the Commission, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, who was represented by the Director of Agriculture and Fisheries, Mrs. Winifred Madume, commended the participants for their discipline and dedication throughout the program.
We recognize the critical role that agriculture plays in driving economic growth, reducing poverty, and enhancing food security. We also appreciate the active participation and engagement of our rice farmers, who have demonstrated their commitment to improving their skills and knowledge. As we close this training program, we urge our rice farmers to put into practice the skills and knowledge they have acquired.
To further support their agricultural ventures, the NDDC issued each participant a starter pack of 200,000 naira along with certificate of participation. The beneficiaries appreciated the NDDC for the initiative and pledged to put their knowledge to good use by expanding their farming operations and contributing to food production in the region.
NDDC has recognized me and they have given me this chance to come to learn and to build on my rice. So I'm very, very grateful for NDDC.
We are saying a big, great thank you to them to give us this opportunity to learn, to acquire more knowledge for the one that we have.
This is not the first time the Commission is coming up with agricultural programs. Last year, the NDDC facilitated the training of over 200 women and youth in livestock farming and agro-processing at Okemute Farms in AKUGHA Sapele local government area of Delta State. Also, the NDDC is collaborating with the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, to transform agriculture in the region by promoting sustainable agribusiness development in the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Young girls in the Niger Delta region have been encouraged to take advantage of the vast opportunities in science-related subjects, such as engineering and mathematics, which have historically been dominated by men. This call was made last week by Mrs. Awele Chukwudefu, a director in the Department of Education, Health and Social Services, during the grand finale of the Advancement of Girls in Engineering, Mathematics and Science GEMS competition, organized by the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC in Port Harcourt, the River State capital.
The Girls in Engineering, Mathematics and Science GEMS competition is a special initiative by the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC. The program aims to ignite the interest of young girls in science-related careers while making learning science, technology, engineering and mathematics both engaging and enjoyable. This year's competition kicked off last month with preliminary rounds featuring participants from various schools across the 9 mandate states. After intense competition at the state level, the top 10 schools from each state secured their spots in the finals, which held last week in Port Harcourt. The grand finale, which featured a computer-based test for the participants, saw Osamade Jegede from Baptist High School, Benin City, Edo State, emerge as the overall winner. Mary Asukwo from Our Lady of Fatima College, Port Harcourt, River State, secured second place, while Oni Ifedayo from Agborikin Comprehensive Secondary School, Ikare, Ondo State, clinched third place. The overall best winner received a 1 million naira scholarship with a laptop, while the second and third place winners were awarded 600,000 and 400,000 naira respectively with laptops. In addition, all the top-performing participants were rewarded with tablets to support their academic pursuits and further encourage their interest in STEM education. The winning schools and teachers were also acknowledged and rewarded with various prizes. The students who could not hide their joy expressed gratitude to the NDDC for providing them with a platform to showcase their talents, supporting their academic growth and encouraging more girls to pursue careers in STEM.
It feels amazing to have, number one, be given this wonderful opportunity. That's for one, and also it feels amazing coming out as the best because it has been a wonderful experience.
I would like to say a very, very big thank you to NDDC. Thank you for exposing me to all this. Thank you for making me meet new people. Thank you for making me read more than I'm supposed to.
A director in the Department of Education, Health and Social Services, Mrs. Awele Chukwudefu, commended the students, teachers and consultants, noting that the commission was deliberate in ensuring that the entire process was seamless and transparent.
The exposure have really made them to be able to compete globally. They did so well. They are all champions. And I thank their teachers for preparing them. I also thank their schools for presenting them.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doyediri says his administration remains open to collaborating with relevant development partners and stakeholders to enhance the health and nutrition sector in the state for improved health care for the people. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Senator Lawrence Erujakpo, made this known last week after signing a 3-year strategic action plan with representatives of the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, at the Government House in Yenagoa.
While the Bayelsa state government is making modest efforts in addressing the myriad of health-related needs of its population, the scale of the issues is indeed enormous, necessitating a collaborative approach through partnerships with other development stakeholders in tackling the prevailing health issues in the state. As part of these collaborative efforts, the state government last week hosted the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, led by the Port Harcourt Chief Field Officer, Dr. Anslem Audu, where discussions focused on strategies for strengthening healthcare and nutrition in the oil-rich state. Bayelsa Deputy Governor Senator Lawrence Erujakpo received the team on behalf of the governor, Senator Doediri. The UNICEF representative expressed confidence in the ongoing partnership with Bayelsa State, noting that it will strengthen healthcare systems, enhance resilience, and complement the government's efforts in overhauling the health sector.
We reaffirm our commitment to enhancing health and nutrition services, ensuring that every child has access to quality health care, immunization, nutrition services that prevent malnutrition and childhood illnesses. We will continue to work with the government to strengthen primary care services and improve maternal and child health indicators.
It will be recalled that in April 2024, the Bayelsa state government received 6 ambulance boats from the UNICEF to improve healthcare and emergency response services in riverine communities living in far-flung areas of the state. Senator Erujakpo further added that the Diri administration is committed to continually improve healthcare facilities as a measure of enhancing the overall well-being of its population, both within townships and riverine communities in the oil-rich state.
Our vulnerability is further undilated by the kind of terrain we have, whereby about 70% of our population live in water areas. We have made quite a lot of progress, which includes the issue of our health law. On the issue of social protection and child protection, we are trying to expand our health insurance to now include community health insurance.
The high point of the event was the signing of a 3-year rolling plan between the Bayelsa state government and UNICEF, a move aimed at strengthening the commitment of both parties to quality healthcare delivery and nutrition services across the glory of all land state.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The Bayelsa State Cultural Troupe, Seki Dance Group, and Ebelegbele dancers, as well as other cultural troupes, entertained guests and attendees last week with beautiful music and reverberating dance steps at the annual Eyal Obey Festival of Ayakoro community in Ogbea local government area of Bayelsa State. The 3-day festival, which brought together community people and dignitaries from far and wide, kicked off on Friday, March 21st, 2025, with a boat regatta on the Ekoli River from Agbura town in Yenagua local government area to Ayakoro community in Ogbea. It also featured wrestling challenge that left the spectators cheering and jeering.
The Eyalobe Festival of the People of Ayakoro community in Ogbea local government area of Bayelsa State is an annual celebration to commemorate the relocation of the people of Ayakoro from their former settlement at the coast of the Ekoli River to their present-day abode due to the threat of erosion about 67 years ago. Last week, they rolled the drums in celebration of their journey and the indomitable strength of the people that have kept them going after losing their ancestral home. The first line of activity of the annual event was a boat regatta on the Ekoli River, where the people colorfully paddled from Agbura town in Yanagwa local government area to Ayakoro community in Ogbea local government area. The boat regatta featured a contest between the 5 quarters that make up the community. Local wrestlers from around the area also captivated the crowd with their show of strength, stamina, and tricks. At the main event on Saturday, the Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC, Dr. Samuel Obuku, who is also the Deputy Paramount Ruler of AKUGHA, in a grand procession received and led the special guest, Governor Monday Opeolo of Edo State, and other guests to the venue of the event. Cultural and traditional dance groups, including the Bayelsa State Cultural Troupe, Seki Dance Group, Egbelebele Dancers, the Young Ladies Cultural Group, and the Oyambo Singing Bird, as well as Kofi Black Life Band, entertained the guests with their energetic performances. Goodwill messages came in from several dignitaries, with the Edo State Governor taking the lead.
Your story is like the story of the Israelites. You have moved, you have crossed the Red Sea, and you have come to a land that is flowing with milk and honey.
The paramount ruler of AKUGHA community, His Royal Highness Righteous Inegba, thanked the people for making the celebration a success, while his deputy, Dr. Obuku, also used the opportunity to admonish the people to protect and take ownership of government facilities within their communities.
Sometimes we feel bad. Having installed facilities or building facilities, we realize that those facilities are being vandalized. Every community is in dire need of development. So whatever development that comes your way, please guard it jealously.
For the people, it was not just a celebration of their relocation, but of rapid development strides of the NDDC across the community under the distinguished leadership of their deputy paramount ruler, Dr. Obuku.
We are here because of the great work Chief Samuel Obuku been doing for the whole Niger Delta. You can see the whole of Bayelsa State and the Niger Delta is being light up because of him.
The story of the AKUGHA community highlights the resilience of many other coastal communities across the region who are battling with the threat of displacement due to erosion that is becoming more frequent than ever.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, that's the size of our package on the program for today. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screens. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Until next week, I am MAMODE AKUGHA thanking you for staying tuned. Bye for now.